Hello, Nick here. And we're doing a shootout tonight, specifically for my friend Robert. Robert is a huge fan of the Kenwood 890, and I've always making fun of it in jest. I'm sure he knows by now that whenever I slag the 890, I'm just doing it for humor, and I'm a bad comedian, so I guess my humor never goes through the right way. But anyway, it's a good radio. It's a great ham radio, okay? So we're gonna find out how it compares to the Icom 9500, all right? I went to a lot of pains to set them all both up, one on top of the other right here. So the Icom is running on its own internal power supply, and the Kenwood obviously doesn't have an internal power supply, so it's running off of my Astron super expensive linear power supply. And both radios are running off of that Stridesburg multi-coupler, and they are both using the same length and of cable, and it's a Stridesburg cable. I got it from Stridesburg. They made it, so it's not some cheap Amazon crap. All right, so I paid a lot of money for those cables. Anyway, they both have the same cable, same length, coming off the same multi-coupler, hooked up to my Wellbrook mounted outside. So, without further ado, let's just start listening and see what happens here. So let's start up here. 49 meter band. It's 7:48 p.m. Central Time in Dallas. You can see, I'll have to zoom in here. There's two signals extremely close together right here. And the filters up here, you can see A, B, and C. A is the smallest, B is the middle, C is the widest. And on the Icom, it's reversed, 1, 2, and 3. 1 is the widest, 2 middle, 3 narrowest. But you probably tell by the sound. Starting to let in the stuff from the other signal.
And then no se va a ir enriqueciendo de los nuevos conceptos, de las nuevas palabras, porque bueno, o sea, si nosotros nos acordamos de
so it's letting in all kinds of crap. And the wide filter just lets in that noise, heterodyne. But the narrow filter, I can still hear the other channel, other station, but it got rid of a lot of it, but it's really muffled here. This doesn't have like a passband tuning. Let's go down to the Icom.
dramática es un acto inconveniente y hasta aberrante, es antimano.
Well, there's always a lot of competition.
That's the widest filter, 9 kilohertz, and it's not letting in a heterodyne. And it already sounds better. Well, yeah, I'm on synchronous. Oh, there we go. No synchronous heterodyne coming in.
Manchester. Again, when I go to Manchester for political conference,
I put a synchronous low side opposite the strong signal. Sounds really nice. And that's wide filter.
It's
Let's
a big
move the passband.
And Manchester will do the New Year proud, and certainly all of those festivities
Listen to that.
we talked about in London and Birmingham, I'm sure Manchester will be trying extra hard to make those bigger and better.
All right, let's go back up to the Kenwood.
In general now, obviously now, what's your section on to 5 years? We might not maybe be still thinking
We're on the narrow filter, because if I go to the wider filter, it lets the other channel in.
I will. As I've said, I'm in frequent contact with...
Let's try poor man's passband tuning. Tune off to the left.
In fact, I'm meeting with them later this afternoon, so I'm
2 kilohertz.
I will join them with some of their
Helps.
celebrations, and I'll get to perhaps experience it a little bit more than I have done in the past. But this is Western American trust. And
watch the filter, A, B, and C.
I have family connections with China through my sister.
You can see the passband here, the shape of it. Narrow, A, B, C. Too narrow.
Chinese heritage and culture, and have been taught by their father Mandarin. And
You speak any Mandarin?
I don't, sadly. I've just signed up to WeChat.
Let's try ECSS. We'll do lower sideband since we want to be opposite away from the stronger signal.
Speak Mandarin, because it's a challenge sometimes with, you know, when you're in meetings and you're translating all the time, it's easier. So maybe that's the New Year's resolution for me, to start to at least learn some basic Mandarin, and I should get my nieces and nephews.
Let's go back to the Icom.
Language to start with, if you're not, you know, if you're not
Gosh, I
very
don't even have to
familiar
touch
with
it.
basic. But
AM
once you
sync,
get into it,
lower.
It gets really easier.
Passband, move the passband to the left.
To learn.
You're encouraging
Wow.
me.
I am encouraging
To
you.
have a try.
I'm encouraging everyone to you know, try.
We could stop the shootout right here, okay? I'm gonna put the Kenwood out on the curb, free to a good home, okay? I'm sure the garbage man will be very happy when he finds this in the can. Anyway, enough levity, okay? Let's get back to some more testing. Not testing, comparing. So to a point, I had someone tell me about, oh, you have to use a signal generator to do all this and stuff. And it's like, I think that guy's really missing the point. The only thing I'm doing here is showing how any given radio is receiving any given signal that I'm listening to. And when I do a shootout like this, I'm showing how the two radios handle the same signal, all right? Now, maybe I'm not good enough to operate both radios to their best ability, but I try, okay? I do what I think is right, and see how they handle it. This is not, I don't need a laboratory here. I don't need a signal generator, all right? I'm just trying to see or show you how the radios handle the signals, any given signal. This is real world testing. There's already data out there. You want to know dynamic range, you want to know all the specs, it's published. It's already out there, okay? But how many people have showed you this radio, trying to receive shortwave signals, okay? This radio is usually I'm probably the only guy in the world who uses this for SWL. Purely only for SWL. There's never even been a microphone hooked up to this radio, all right? And I'm probably the only guy in the world who's stupid enough to pay the money for this thing and do that. So anyway, enough ranting. Let's look for some more stuff to listen to. All right, we'll use the Kenwood. So go back to AM.
Right. It's more about the character of the person.
I wanted to talk a little bit about AM radio.
All right, weak signal, relatively weak signal, not affected by anything around it. Let's just see how this thing compares. Not a lot of fading though. I'd like to find something with fading. Let's keep looking. All right, slightly weaker signal. This is Toronto up in Canada. I got no sync. I can't put sync on here. I can do ECSS, and it doesn't matter which side I do because there's nothing on either side of it really. Narrow, mid, wide. AM sounds better than ECSS on this signal.
What are you doing out here?
Seems to either as chemo, doing babies. The new series is not typically as chemo, but if you like that kind of show, and if you are a fan of Sarah Michelle Gellar, aka Buffy the Vampire Slayer, she stars in it, so it's kind of like checking out the cat.
Narrow.
Anything else on the streaming harassment we should be talking about? What are your thoughts on Netflix? I keep on hearing it seems like this threat keeps on coming to crack down on shared passwords and it never comes true.
Oh, we're still using the... I had the passband on.
Is happening in a different way. Netflix, I haven't had a problem with it so far. When it has been any problems is Disney Plus. There's been passwords with some family members and they have been through this. I don't know what the algorithms are. I'm not really sure how they're doing that, but you know what? At this point, I feel like we can kind of pick and choose the shows we want to watch, and then just subscribe to it. And then just stop. One month is this, and
Great idea. Amber, thank you very much for your time. I always appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Let's try noise reduction up here. Watch this here. Let's keep it down to keep the syntheticness away. So we're probably on, we're on 3 out of a max 10. 2. Leave it on 3. All right, let's go back to the Icom.
no reaction to police what the Kenya calls an abandoned solution. As simple as details on those and everything
Minimum.
coming up. Of course.
Maximum. Halfway. About quarter. Minimum. Up just a little.
The traffic that we had earlier blocking 3 right lanes has cleared away. There is some volume. It's pounded. You continue to trot back. Westbound machines, they have so painful. If you ever call earlier, you still walking in one lane. And what knows I can do at a Get to know it. We're going to say the traffic on the list of happening. Our next update at 9:15 on News Talk 10 Central. A day after Florida police increased the tolls on federal transit, the previous month, we left a less permanent solution. Indians incarcerated to our north and more. The province believes there's room for collaboration to address violence on the PCC. But the premier isn't sure Toronto's approach is the right one. He wants lower volume traffic required on a permanent basis, not adding hours.
Back to the Kenwood.
As sociologists explains, with more police,
Turn the NR off.
People already marginalized.
I would have liked to have seen the investment redirected.
Well-versed and experienced social workers. The NR barriers perhaps be right along with police.
It's something Philadelphia is trying after a spike in transportation violence.
We're so much better than a lot of
All right. Let's look for something else. Just straight through, no help here, no NR, no nothing. Same here. They're both on middle bandwidth. Sync. Back to the Kenwood. Icom. Kenwood. Yeah. My opinion, sitting here, Icom smoked the Kenwood on every single signal we've been listening to so far. And it's mostly because of the synchronous. Whoever said that the sync on this 9500 doesn't work right, I don't know. They got a bad radio. Either that or I got lucky. I don't know. Mine works great. You're hearing it. I think that's, I mean, if without the sync, it's one or the other, right? They're very, very close. I mean, the pass band on this allows me to move away from a strong signal. This doesn't have that. I think the filters on this are better, so while the user can adjust and select these, it's not infinite. You're kind of stuck to certain parameters when you pick a specific roof or roofing filter, or if you pick a specific shape or something like that, you're kind of married to it. And you can only pick the low cut and high cut. You can't just go infinitely wherever you want. Whereas down here, I can make any of the three filters do anything I want. Literally anything I want, all right? And that's phenomenal, phenomenal. And you're hearing the results. So let's, all right, so we've got long wave up here. Narrow filter, long wave. Narrow filter, no sync, no noise reduction. to the Kenwood. Let's try a different one. Sounds really good there. Go to the Icom. Halfway on the NR. I'm going to set the Kenwood for halfway on the NR. Well, we'll do it while we're listening to it. Watch here. Too synthetic-y. Go back to 4. Sounds good. We're on the Icom. Max. Halfway. A little less than half. Now, you hear a little noise in the background. That's because this filter is 3.8, and I selected it to be that way because I set it up that way for voice on broadcast listening. This filter is 3.2, so it's significantly low. It's not a lot, but that's enough lower that it takes some stuff out. Let's hit the filter, and let's change this one to 3.2. So now listen when I go back to 3.8, and you'll hear the noise in the background come up. A little bit that kind of that hiss in the background. Oops, this one has this NR2 on it. All right, so on these beacons, this Kenwood's doing very, very well. In fact, if you want to be picky about the background hiss, it's slightly less on the Kenwood than it is on the 9500. I'll give it that. Yeah, for these beacons. So let's try some of it. Let's try that 28 megahertz beacon. So that's let's go to we'll try it from here. So enter 20. Let's put the waterfall on for this one. We'll even put, so we got preamp on. See that? It remembered it from the last time I was here. And let me zoom in on the scope. So tonight, this beacon is on 209.07. If you watched my video from last night, this was on 209.08. So this guy's floating. .200 bandwidth, 500,000. 500, 200. .200 preamp, just like the Kenwood. I'm going to turn the Kenwood up. So I'm thinking they're both, they sound about the same. I can't slag either one of them, and I can't give it to either one of them. So for all practical purposes, the long wave beacons were the same, except for a slight amount of more slight background hits, and that's only because I was looking for it on the 9500. This beacon here, I'm going to call this equal. And on shortwave broadcast, this gets the nod because of the sync and the passband tuning. Big advantages for shortwave listening. But again, the Kenwood is not a shortwave radio designed for that. It's a ham radio, okay? Guys don't listen to shortwave on this thing. All right, I know it's got that goofy, here, let me show you. It's got this goofy, see that? They call that shortwave mode, all right? Where it looks like the old school, I gotta zoom in on to show you this. All right, so like if you tune, you could see this thing tuning there, All right, well, it moves faster if I'm in AM. Hold on. See, you can see it moving. All right, so if we go down to like 10 megahertz.
At the Dolphin, 2 hours, 17 minutes, coordinated universal time.
All right. Yes. So, I mean, it sounds fine, but it's got this shortwave mode.
At the Dolphin, 2 hours, 18 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Solar terrestrial indices for January
2.5 seconds off. I set this clock last night.
145 in estimated planetary index 9. The estimated
UTC on January
Whoa.
28th was 2.67. No states west
storms were observed for the past 24
hours. No states
This
weather
sounds
storms
much
are
better.
predicted for the next 24 hours.
Here's my clock up here. All right. You all know how important clocks are to me. So we're going to sit here for 20 more seconds and watch and see if it's slow or fast. I set this one last night too. I set them both last night.
At the Dolphin, 2 hours, 19 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Money, baby. Don't mess with a man's clock. Let's see here. Oh, in another minute, we're going to have what do they call it again? A vomit? 10051. USB. Watch the clock and watch when the voice starts. Yep, it usually starts between 2 and 4 seconds past the minute. So they start at 20 past and they start at 10 before.
Until the 28th at 2400 Zulu. Wind 100 degrees, 5 visibility 6 miles. Slow 2,000 scattered, ceiling 8,000 overcast. Temporarily 0000 until 0300 Zulu. Visibility 2 miles. Left no clouds, cool clouds. At 800, ceiling 2,000 overcast. From 0300 Zulu, wind 140 degrees, 5 knots. Visibility miles, 2,000 scattered, ceiling 16,000 overcast. Temporarily 0300 Zulu until 0900 Zulu, ceiling 2,000 broken, 14,000 overcast. From from 09er 00 Zulu, wind 140 degrees, visibility 6 miles, light snow, ceiling 2,000 broken, 1,000 overcast. Toronto, forecast amended at 0106 Zulu, valid from the 28th at 0100 Zulu until the 29th at 0600 Zulu.
So I'm going to call those even there. The Kenwood has a beautiful scope. It's almost as nice as the FTDX101. It's just not quite as, I don't know what the term I'm looking for. I don't know if maybe it's resolution or maybe it's speed or real time or whatever, but it's just, the one on the FTDX101, just it seems slightly, I don't know, better. I don't know if that's even the right word, but all right, so these things move a lot faster if you put them in AM. So so we can do that. We can change the span here. So that was the widest, and now we're at 5 kilohertz spread. In fact, see the way it's colored like that? That's the band. That's the pass band. All right. So as I bump it to the next one, 10 kilohertz, you'll see this will shrink. See that? Let's put it down on put it on WWV. And you can see the pass band around the signal. See with the kind of like the light gray area. Span 200, that's 100 to either side. 500. I think that's the largest. Yeah. And we also have waterfalls. So you got no scope, you've got small scope with a small waterfall, big scope with a big waterfall, but you lose your full meter and you lose your clock and you get cramped for space up here. But if you want to see the waterfall, that's the largest span. 250 kilohertz on either side of the signal. All right, and then the scope on the Icom, nowhere near as nice. All right, so let's put it back on AM. So we are at, you can see here, it says here, minus 250 plus 250. So this is the same spread right now as the Kenwood. So it's a 500 spread. And if you do center fixed, you can do the whole thing. Now, the nice thing about the Kenwood is when you go off screen, see on this one, when you go off screen, it points to where your pointer is, but doesn't follow it, okay? Now, the way around that is to change the span, because this one can go a lot bigger. There's a full megahertz. That's a minus 500 plus 500, and you can even go bigger than that. There's 10 megahertz spread, okay? 1 megahertz spread. There's now, we're back up to the same as the Kenwood. And there's no waterfall here, and the scope is not real time. The resolution is way lower than the Kenwood resolution. I already said there's no waterfall. So yeah, so the scope is useful. It's way better than not having a scope. And if you're wondering what these colors are, the green is the actual the signals. You can see the grass, that's the noise floor. I have it attenuated right now. Not the signal, just the scope. So I can turn that off. There's the live scope. And then the red in the back is the peak hold, all right, to show me like the peak strength of any given signal. And that's the red. Now the VFO knobs, this one is the best one I have ever handled in my whole life. This one is nice, okay? But it's nowhere near as nice as the Icom. But, and that's just ergonomic stuff. So, let's see, I don't know, what else? Oh, let's listen to a little sideband. Let's see here. Let's see if there's anything going on here.
The amateur call by Paul M. Sigo, W9EEA 1928. Big gold like the radio amateur is considered never operating in such a way after the pleasure of others. The radio amateur is loyal, offering loyalty, encouragement, and support to other amateurs, the local clubs, and the American Radio League, through which amateur radio in the United States is represented nationally and internationally. The radio amateur is with larger operating non-reproach. The radio amateur is friendly with slow and patient operation when requested, friendly advice and counsel to beginners, friendly assistance, cooperation, and consideration for the interests of others. These are the hallmarks of the amateur spirit. The radio amateur is talent. Many others in the The radio amateur is patriotic, but stays in control, always ready for service to country and community.
That filter sounds weird. I might have to do some adjusting on that. That's a little bit wide.
Thank you, Elmer. Very well done. One more check-in here on that logger, K0. Chad is with us.
Kenwood. I'm sorry, Icom.
During that,
Wow.
during the ham code, you were 20 over, then you went down to 5.9, then back to 10 over, so it's kind of around a little bit. But generally, we've had pretty good conditions here for the last couple of weeks. Let's see. Well, let's get this thing going. Everybody's welcome on 3916. If you're maybe hearing us for the first time tonight, friendly group here. There's been 3916 since 1998.
I've changed the
November
bandwidth on
98.
this one, so
It's
3.5,
grown from,
3.6.
1 net, the freewheelers to 10 o'clock net.
Wow,
It's
listen
grown
to that.
3, and it's just a good time. And just like I said, if you're out
Where's
there,
the garbage can? I gotta push the Kenwood into the garbage can.
Come on in and be part of the conversation. Let's see our new station. How about Eric in Colorado?
So the Kenwood sounds great. If I didn't have an Icom 9500 sitting here, I'd be all kissing and hugging on this Kenwood, all right? But with this bad boy sitting right here, dang, I ain't kissing and hugging on nothing, all right? Except maybe my Kenwood R5000 that I did a video on last night. I love that thing. So yeah, you're seeing it. If this had a scope like this would be the finest radio ever made. There's no reason to own another radio except for size, and if you had to put it in your pocket or something like that. But as far as desktop or rack mount or anything goes, if this one had a scope similar to this, just the scope, no other feature. That's it. Throw all your WJs and everything else in the garbage. Yep. So anyway, we're at 45 minutes. And imagine only the freaks are left watching this like me. So I guess that's about it. Robert, I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. And everybody who's still here, thank you for hanging out. And we'll see you on the next one.